told you he'd run. And there's a reason.
Right here. What's your story?
There's a reason. There's a reason he's running.
I'm not running, I'm right here.
How many dead in Gaza so far? Approximately.
I don't think the dead have been counted, but Hamas admitted to overestimating it.
This is what the Democratic Party is
I asked for a number. I asked for a number, and you still couldn't do that.
We don't have a number yet. We don't have a number yet, which is usually not a number in the
What do
middle
you
of
have?
the
You
war.
came empty-handed? You came here empty-handed? God, I was talking and you interrupted. Right, with the options. Remember? Oh, no. Elaborate on lavender and elaborate on I told you he'd run, you guy.
I'm not running, sweetie.
So I looked up Project Lavender. It's an AI-powered target.
First line since October 7th. You just looked it up. You're lying.
Yes.
That's impossible.
No, I'm not lying.
No.
Huh?
You have to have information. You talk the way you talk, little bitch-ass motherfucker.
Well, thank you.
How's the first thing you looking up Lavender
I'm a bitch-ass
today?
motherfucker.
Lavender is programmed for 400,000 kills. All right, it's AI.
Oh,
So you
no.
just knew that today? Liar, liar.
Oh, no.
That's a liar.
I'm a liar. Ask me a question and call me a liar. Project Lavender.
So who's the troll, Normal?
Talk in your normal voice now.
Lavender and total number dead. Answer the question.
Okay, so you want to know how many dead? I told you we don't know, although Hamas has admitted to overestimating it. And why is it interesting to you how many dead?
What's the number?
What did I say?
Okay, you came to the stage with an empty head. All right, let's move to Lavender.
No, I didn't. I came with the truth. And if you think you know the number, you're lying. If you're going to quote Hamas, they're a terror organization. They always lie. So they're no
Let's say the dead is 2,000 only.
What?
Is that understandable to you? Let's make up a number.
It's not accurate, but it's understandable.
Do you think it's 2,000 or do you think it's less?
I think it's probably more. But we
Probably
don't know
how
how
much?
much more.
Wait. See, now we're using your thinking, which is perfect. What do you think more? How much more do you think than 2,000? Now, dildo knows.
I'd rather not be full of shit and speculate.
I'd rather not speculate about something this important. So why don't we count them when we can? When they give back the hostages and surrender, like they will within the next 2 weeks. And Israel is never going to leave that ground because they aren't trustworthy. They're very violent. And we're not going to let them attack Jews anymore.
What's the number?
What number?
You said you think it's more than 2,000. How much more than 2,000, stupid ass? How much more than 2,000, stupid ass? How much more than 2,000?
All right, so just give us a number. Give us a number.
I don't have a number. Nobody does. Why lie?
Okay, but an estimated number. Point said
I'm
2,000.
not able. I don't have enough data to estimate, and neither do you or anybody
Okay, but
else.
listen to me.
We're listening. We're listening.
Okay.
We're listening.
All right. When Point said 2,000, you said, well, I would guesstimate more. So if you're going to guesstimate more, are we saying 2,500? Are we saying 3,000?
Did you hear the whole sentence, or are you having selective hearing? Did you hear the whole sentence, or are you just picking parts?
And Normal, relax.
Was that
I'm very
not the full
relaxed.
sentence? Was that not
Huh?
the full sentence? If
It wasn't the
go
full
ahead and say-
sentence.
Okay, well, then say
The
what
full
you said.
sentence
That's fine.
was, I would imagine it's more, but I wouldn't want to say how much more, because it's too important to guesstimate about dead people. And I'm not even sure if that's relevant, how many people are dead. What's relevant is ending the war peacefully so that neighbors can live next to each other in peace. Because remember, they attacked us, and they still have our hostages, and that is a war crime. And we have every right to go and get them back.
How
how many people die does not matter.
Don't say they stay.
In a war, I'm not sure what difference it makes in the big picture. What matters is the peace that's going to come. I hope.
I just made you expose yourself. See how easy you were?
Okay, I don't usually expose myself. I'm not you.
Next question was lavender. You haven't spoken on that at all. I wonder why.
Because you've been speaking over me. Say again?
I've been researching it myself. This is the first I've heard of Project Lavender. I'm ignorant to it. I
One
can't
mic
say it.
on normal. You didn't speak on lavender. Go ahead. One mic on you. Stupid ass. Stupid ass.
Stupid ass. Why do you
Autonomous
talk
strikes
like
on
that?
citizens is Lavender.
Wait, I want to hear this again. Say that again?
Autonomous strikes on civilians is what I'm reading.
That's not what I'm reading. I said here, it's an artificial intelligence program used by the IDF during the Gaza war to identify and target individuals suspected of being members of the military wings of Hamas, or Palestinian Islamic Jihad. That's what I'm reading. Maybe you got the wrong info?
No, I'm curious. If they were Israeli deaths, would it matter how many the numbers will be there?
In what context?
Meaning, if they weren't Palestinians' numbers that we're talking about that are dead, would it matter if we were talking about how many Israelis have died?
In this conversation?
I think it's just trusting Hamas. It's just trusting Hamas. That's all.
Huh?
It's trusting
true.
Hamas's data.
That's right. That's kind of what we're getting to. So it's not that I think that somebody's life is more important than somebody else's, but in a war, people die. It's a war they started, and they could end with a phone call at any time. They ended on October 10th, 2023.
I get that. I'm just the idea that you don't think it matters to the numbers of people that
That's true. Well, not for this conversation. I think what matters is getting to peace. What? What?
That egregious description that you just read,
Why is it egregious? No, I
wordy and
that's
conflated.
not the meaning of the word egregious.
What's the source that you said it from?
I use AI.
they source it for you, buddy.
Hang on, I still have it up here. So let's see.
So it is supposed to be a good technology, though. So like,
Yeah.
so what it does is, like, say for example, we have our FBI database and then pictures and people and shit like that. So what these drones are what it's supposed to do when it comes to fighting is supposed to link the information from the database. Pretty much like if you're in Korea and a lot of these Asian countries where they can identify, it's trying to identify the enemy. The kill, when it comes to Project Lavender, so I know y'all have this thing with the Gaza and Israel. One thing I do, like when it comes to stuff like this, I actually really think it's good practice because soldiers make mistakes more often than what this technology is doing. So it's supposed to have a 10%, what is it?
Error rate.
Yeah, 10% error rate, but at the same time, the thing with this error rate is, are they updating the database? So that's been the question that's been focused on the Israeli government. How often are you updating the database? Is it as accurate as you think it is? Are these people that you have in the database actually guilty? So it is good technology. I hate to break y'all. Just because you want to fight on this thing. It's true. Like, what's the resolution when the president be involved in it?
Sell it to our military. I understand that.
So you know what? The U.S. is actually, the U.S. does the same thing. What's that?
Yeah, they use it when I come into the country now. I don't even have to show my passport. They just take a picture of my face, and as I'm walking through, they go, "Hey, Norm." And when I went to Singapore, they did the same thing. They didn't have to.
Right. Asian countries have been using it for a while.
You know, you don't even have to, like in China, when you buy something, they can just take a picture of it. You don't have to show anything. You don't have to pay one of those Amazon stores. I don't know, you had a bad connection. You dropped out.
So maybe we'll open a room to talk about Latin because it's way more than what you
Yeah.
Because there's a section called Where's Daddy? That's one of the databases in the program, and there's a whole lot of, there's an article written about it.
What's your source on that? I want to read it.
Yeah,
Put
we're
it
gonna
in
have
the
a
chat. Put it in the chat.
I'm not here to educate you. I don't get
You
paid.
don't want to share your secret information about your daddy?
Not with you right now.
Where's your daddy?
Well,
What about
source
the other
your
people
site.
in the room?
We can have a room about this. Yeah, we could, and that's why I said we could have a conversation about the truth. He never knew about it until now. So I know he's embarrassed.
If I were you, I'd be a voice actor. That'd be so clutch.
So embarrassed about the count, more than 2,000, and about Lavender. I know he's reeling in embarrassment, like a pig
Not
wallowing in
even a
mud.
little bit.
Like a
What
pig
do I have to be
wallowing in
embarrassed
mud
about?
right now.
What do I have to be embarrassed?
You know so much about the crisis, but he's
Various point.
you won't know enough.
I don't know. The other guy, okay, thank you for your contribution. I get it, point.
That you
What
don't
the
know
other guy
about
say?
the Gaza crisis or Palantir to a deeper level.
What?
I've heard about the Where's Daddy point. That's allegedly, it's a software that the IDF uses to target Hamas or militants in the Gaza Strip, but to target them specifically when they're home with their family. So when they take them out, they take out the entire family. That's why it's called Where's Daddy. So if the children are there, allegedly, they don't give a F. If the wife is there, they don't give a F. They want to target the entire family, and that's why it's called Where's Daddy? And that is some AI
Not
program.
exactly
Allegedly.
true. Not
I said,
exactly true.
hold on, hold your I said allegedly. This is what I've seen in multiple reports. Not
Right.
saying if it's true, but that's what the program alleged or purportedly is to be.
Feel free to put such a source in the chat. We'll have a look
So,
at it.
so
Now you go do your research.
I've done my research, and I don't see what you're saying.
we're just a troll.
I mean, yes, we kill terrorists, if that's what you're pointing to.
We're just a
And by the
troll.
way, there's such a thing called proportionality. And proportionality doesn't mean
I think that's
proportionality doesn't mean what most people think it means. But if you kill 10, then we kill 10. Proportionality refers to the military value of the target, and that is left up to the discretion of the parties involved. So you have to weigh the military value of a target with the civilians near them. But one thing I can tell you is that if there is a military target in a civilian area, they have made that area dangerous and subject to sanctions. And so if you hide among civilians, you're endangering the lives of the civilians. If you hide in a hospital, then you're endangering the lives of the patient in that hospital. And you don't get immunity just because you're hiding behind your children.
okay. Did you see the story that Matt just put out about the killing fields? I guess that's not true either, right?
You mean Haaret? I never said something was true or not true. You mean Haaret, which means the
Yeah,
land?
true. The newspaper, you know what I mean, the newspaper in Israel.
Well, you know what I mean is not a very good answer. Yes.
Hold
And
on.
yes, I did see the article. And notable was that there was all not. Hang on, you're putting it in the chat.
Yeah,
You
but
asked
I
me a
didn't
question, I'm
put it out.
answering it.
Yes, but that was.
I'm answering your question.
One mic.
Okay, so let me finish. They released an article that was sourced from IDF soldiers. I'm not saying what my opinion is. I'm just saying what the article stated, that they had orders for that little humanitarian aid that I don't think, this is my personal opinion, I think it's a front. That I do believe. That when those Palestinians or Gazians approached to get food, that they had orders. Now, I have no opinion on this part. This is what was reported in the newspaper, that they were told to open fire. Are you?
Right, well, that's not what it says. And I'll point out that there are no sources for that story, so it's an anonymously sourced story, which to me raises an eyebrow. And I can also tell you that a number of Israel's newspapers are against the present government, and they're against the war, which the newspaper has a right to be. But they are deliberately trying to make the current government look bad because they hate it. Again, that's legitimate. People can be against the war. That's what happens in a democratic free society. The value of freedom of speech. And you've just seen that in her example of that in her article. So what I do see is people shooting over the heads of rioters who are killing each other, grabbing up the food. And the reason why this new system was developed was to keep the food out of the hands of Hamas, who were stealing it from their own people and then charging them exorbitant prices to buy it back. The whole idea is to remove the supply line to Hamas, not to hurt innocent Palestinians.
I've seen one of the Biden officials who is very pro-Israel. One of the Biden's officials, I'll come back from going to the gym and I'll put his name. High level, he's out of the administration now, and he stated there was no evidence that Hamas was consistently stealing the food. I'll come back when I finish my work on
So they were
this
stealing
guy
it
is very.
inconsistently?
Hold on. This guy is very pro-Israel. I mean, you can't get more pro-Israel than this guy. He said there was no evidence. I'll bring the link when, let me get up the treadmill. I'll get it for you. I'm going to the gym right now. I'll come back.
So they're stealing it inconsistently. We found the Hamas warehouses full of food where they were stockpiling it. And you notice that none of the Hamas fighters are starving to death. They're starving their own people.
There is no proof that anybody but him is doing it.
That story in there, the food that they take from the mouths of their own people. Do you not get that? Hamas warehouses guided by Hamas gangsters.
Where is the proof? Where is the article?
Well, they photographed it. Israel, the IDF photographed it. I mean, they document everything. Everything is filmed. Everything is documented. When they have, hang on a second. When they have a bunch of soldiers in a maternity. Excuse me a second. Excuse me one second.
Excuse me, Frank, I was still talking.
So nobody's lying. I don't believe that somebody was lying.
Can you send us pictures of your stomachs?
You said somebody was lying. Hang on, Frank. Hang on, we're still on the previous question, Frank. Calm down.
Now, what is it that you were disagreeing with? The Hamas warehouses full of food? Is that what you were
starving their own people. They're not starving their own people. They're not.
Yeah, they are.
Starving their own people. They're not mowing down their people and killing fields.
Well, now you're saying starving, killing fields. Which is it that you're trying to address? Let's do one at a time. They could be from one to the other.
Yes. And then they say we're going to give you food, but they shoot them in the face.
Well, no, nobody did that. So you're denying something that nobody said, so I can't help. That's called a straw man.
No, this is what Levon was reporting back to, and I'm backing her up.
I don't know Levon.
I'm seeing footage of it.
I'm not denying anything. I'm not clear what it is you're claiming. I said that Hamas is killing fields. Okay, I said Hamas is starving its people, and now you're going to killing fields. So what would you like to say about killing fields?
All of the above.
Well, pick one so we can discuss it.
This is one topic.
No, starvation is not the same as shooting.
For you it isn't.
Well, for you it isn't either. No,
it's not
shooting
my
and starving
lifestyle
are
or
different
career,
things.
brother.
No, but English should be your lifestyle and career. You should at least be able to communicate in your native language. If not, then you're going to have problems in life, and it sounds like they've already begun, because you can't express yourself clearly, and you can't focus on a topic.
I express myself just fine with normal human beings.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't express yourself just fine.
I really don't.
Well, you got it anyway.
To further that, you gotta respect you. First be insulted by social
Again, I didn't say I was insulting you. I was trying to correct your failures.
in order to be insulted.
I'm not insulting you. I'm just pointing out your inadequacies. You should work on those.
Natural diamonds, and they're bringing in $1.5 billion to their economy.
Same topic or next topic?
A lot of incredible things. Here they're doing.
I mean, I don't have a problem with some type
It's amazing how we can't even get into no real conversation around this topic other than just
Let's do it.
Norman.
Let's do
No,
that.
I'm saying other than Norm. Outside of you, we can never have a conversation without you just taking it into that zone of nothingness that nobody can say anything because you're the authority on all things Gaza, Palestine, Israel, and nobody else.
Arbiter of
No.
humanitarian efforts.
Yeah, I'm not an authority.
Excuse me.
Well,
Excuse me, sweet. Just 1 second. Levon's mic is open, you guys. I don't think she knows it.
I think you're in the Matrix, Sandra.
yeah, I mean, when I watch CNN, I didn't catch all this conversation, but it seems to me that IDF and they're just shooting people. They're going to get food, and they're getting shot.
Right. Nobody is doing that.
That's not happening. That's all fake
The
news.
whole reason for Iran. That's the reason
It's
for
not happening.
Iran.
So it is happening, but it's not. It's not what?
No, like what you said is not happening.
What? They're not getting shot when they go get food. That hasn't happened.
For as far as we know, the Hamas was shooting them.
Who's we? Is it?
We, the Jews, we Israel, we the sources of Jews.
Oh, okay. Well, CNN doesn't seem to have that opinion for whatever
What did
reason.
CNN say?
They didn't say that Hamas was shooting them.
So they didn't say that Israel was shooting them. Okay.
Well,
Well,
they
now you
did
gotta
say
take
that.
American soldiers. It wasn't American soldiers.
Say again.
It was not an American soldier mowing down Gaza.
Nor was it an IDF soldier.
Yes, it was IDF.
Show me.
All right, I'll pull it up.
All right. All I saw was an anonymous story, and I don't usually go with anonymous sources. And I don't think you should, but that's your choice. It can be
What were you guys
investigated.
talking about before El Normo came in?
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. We was talking about the big, beautiful bill and how Elon tweeted against it yesterday. You know, that's what we were talking about.
That's right, he sure did. He's not happy.
Yeah, there must be something there he doesn't like. What is it that he doesn't like? Raising taxes? I don't know.
Yeah, it's part of Texas, and
I think he doesn't like he doesn't like that they took away the subsidies for the electric vehicles.
Yeah.
There's something about AI in there, and it's not about him. Like some people say, oh, he's trying to keep us from going so far with AI, but I think it's because he's behind the other companies. So yeah, give them a pause and give them time to catch up. So yeah.
Well, we know that Normo has no problem defending the regime that's guilty of war crimes.
Well,
So
there's no
this is
regime
what
in
I've come to
Israel.
expect. This is what I've come to expect of Normo.
We
He
don't.
doesn't. He's an apologist. He's an apologist for the regime.
We don't have
that
any
engages
regime in
constant
Israel,
acts of war
and
crimes.
nobody's been convicted of war crimes.
And there's
so
been no bigger
don't get it
apologist
twisted.
than Normo. So I don't think you guys should expect anything else from him.
Well, I just try to
He
tell.
basically defends.
I just tell the truth.
He's a sycophant for the war crimes.
Not a sycophant.
Yeah.
Personal attacks won't prove your point.
That's not a personal attack. It's the truth. You're a
A
sycophant.
sycophant is a personal attack.
It's not a personal attack.
TC, is that your
Alright,
wife?
so I'm not sure exactly how we got back on that, but let me just bring this back real quick. Elon Musk has renewed his criticism of President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill, showcasing his fierce option to measure at a critical time as Senate Republicans scrambled to advance the newly revised 940-page proposal. Musk took to social media on Saturday to highlight his disapproval. The latest Senate draft bill will destroy millions of jobs in America and cause immense strategic harm to our country, Musk said to his more than 200 million followers on X. Utterly insane and destructive. It gives handouts to industries of the past while severely damaging industry of the future.
I know it doesn't seem like
very
words,
well
lady,
read.
but I still.
Thank you, sir.
I still cling to my prediction that he will eventually endorse the bill. Maybe not this iteration of the bill. It might get
marked up in the House. I'm curious if they're going to do they're going to try and do some sort of joint committee between the Senate and the House to get this bill passed. That's the only way I see it happening, because there's already people coming out in the House saying they won't pass that bill. the Senate's bill.
Thank God.
We'll see how the cookie crumbles, but it's not looking good for some folks.
Dead on arrival. Dead is speaking on arrival.
TC, is that your wife?
Yes, that's my wife.
She's beautiful. I couldn't tell if it was like a younger sister or she's pretty. Congratulations.
They do kind of favor. How long y'all been together? They say when people been together for a long time, they start looking alike.
11 years, 12 years.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, Tugga Wugga. All right, and Anon, is that how you say your name? Anon, are you there? Anon. A-N-O-N. A-N-O-N.
The anonymous dude.
Anonymous.
Anons. Anonce.
Hello. What do you guys think? Should we push back on A? Should we, stop development of artificial intelligence?
No.
Somebody brought that up earlier, right?
Yeah, the bots are usually named Anon. We have several Anons in the room. Look in the audience. You guys are just leave.
But this Anon is in the bot, right? They were just talking. Or you think Anon is a talking bot? What's going on, Paul? What's happening? Are you glitching?
Yeah, I was asking whether we should push back on A at all, or we should continue ahead with it.
Are you in Germany? Are you in Germany? No?
No, I'm not.
So what do you want? Meathead. So where are you, Anon? If you're not in Germany.
What's up? What's in Germany?
I don't know, maybe the people that cracked clubhouses called bots that are usually named Anon. So anyway, how you doing? And it's your turn to talk about the topic. So go ahead, Anon. Yeah, Anon. Go ahead.
A while ago I heard somebody talking about AI development here. So somebody was saying that it should be regulated. We should push back on AI. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, we were talking about NVIDIA's new chips. What do you think of those chips?
Actually, I'm not aware of the specific hardware you're talking about. Which chip is it?
The black chip. The one that's been exceeded by Huawei. You said you wanted to talk about AI and chips, right? So let's go.
No. I was talking about AI softwares. Computer softwares, not about hardware. Yeah, but you can talk about it. I'm not aware of that chip. That's it.
Oh, okay, then let's talk about software. Which one do you like?
Actually, I like general direction of AI right now because I think it's making knowledge more accessible to people these days. So usually earlier, if you had some doubt, we had to Google it and all. We had to go through each pages. Now with these chatbots and all, we can within seconds get a comprehensive information on our query. So I think AI is making our life easier, and I think we should not stop it. We should go ahead with it.
I couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much for that. Booty head. right, now that we finished embarrassing Norma, there was a woman speaking earlier, and so yeah, you could do a room on it, on the lavender if you wanted. It'll really blow your mind. So it's that and way more than what you guys discussed. Way back in 2021, in the midst of the pandemic, what is that echo? So I don't use Clubhouse.
What are you talking about, point?
Yeah, can you close your mic? You're creating an echo at Anon. I thought you knew about computers. Anyway.
It's not an echo, girl. It's a voice of a plane. I'm near an airport. That's it.
Stupid ass. So in 2021, Alex Carp. What? Anon, if you do that again, I'm just gonna go to the audience. So anyway, Alex Carp was with Palantir. Hey. God damn, man. Son. And Anon, I thought you were a computer expert. Why don't you mute your mic? That's the bottom right symbol on your phone. Stupid ass. Stupid ass. You stupid ass. Close your mic.
Anon is gone. I put him in the group. Go ahead.
Oh. Let me see. No, he's on. Oh, there he goes. He left now. So anyway, I think he's hacking the bot system with Clubhouse. But anyway, what I was going to say was Alex Karp is part of the mastermind behind Lavender. So in 2021, was when I started, really getting into trading and everything. I watch CNBC. So this guy springs up, and I don't know if you've seen the professor that was in the movie Back to the Future. Remember the one with the sparky hair? So I'm looking at the TV, and he's talking. It's an in-depth interview, and he's talking about the program, the chilling program he's developing. Yo, it was riveting, and you can go back and find it. So at the end of the interview, the interviewer said to him, how can we be sure you won't go rogue with this premise of this idea? Because the idea he was describing was lavender. And it went into the creation of human fingerprints. And that doesn't necessarily mean your picture. It also means your texting, your WhatsApp, any communication by phone, etc., all put into the computer, and the AI breaks it down and gives you a rating, and then we'll zone map it on a map with color code. Bro. So all of that shit he was talking about all of that shit then, and at the end, the interviewer's mind was so fucking blown by what he described and how he looked while he was describing it with that kind of look, that monster kind of shit. So that's the only reason I bring it up today. Where are we now? Till 2025, right? So 972 did something on this, and you should read it. I sent it to Water in his back channels. Pause. And I think you'll be interested. So what I was doing with Norm was exposing that. And where's Patty? Is she here listening to this? Cool, right? So what I was the deeper picture I'm trying to paint for you all is Israel will never have any complicity or association with the 400,000 that have been killed in Gaza, because Lavender already projected that, with 10% of 400,000 being what? 40,000 being what? The estimated number of Hamas soldiers before the October 7th invasion. So by the AI's calculations, there's expected to be another 150,000 to be killed, so that you can complete the percentage with the AI model. Yeah, AI model. So what Lavender was designed to do was to remove the soldier from accountability. And when you do the research, you'll go, oh my motherfucking God. So once the AI had made its decision regarding relatives, associates, people who were associated with associates and continue